Hi guys, and thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Melissa Joyce, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. We are going to talk today a little bit about the product that I received, one of the products I received in my January BoxyCharm box, and that is this highlighter duo by Vintage by Jessica Liebeskind. I'm not going to talk too much about the company because I did a video already on a highlighter from Jessica Liebeskind, and that was this one that I received, I want to say 3 months ago in my BoxyCharm subscription. And I just want to pause for a moment here to say this is probably the first time that I wasn't super impressed with my BoxyCharm box, and not necessarily because the products weren't good, but they felt very repetitive. So I just received a highlighter a few months before from Jessica Liebeskind, and then I received another one, and they're not super different. Like, they are different, they're not the same colors, but it's curious not only to include, I mean, it's not that strange to include products from the same brand that soon, but I mean, put in a mascara from them, or a blush, or an eyeshadow, or something, not the same product, because I now own 3/4 of the highlighters that are available from this company. So it just seems a little repetitive. And then I also received a pure mineralized glow, basically bronzer. And I'm gonna do a video on that, probably that versus another bronzer. And I don't mind the bronzer. I actually quite like it, and I'll share my feelings on that later. But I received a full-size bronzer last month in BoxyCharm, and it just feels repetitive. And then another product was a lip product, which again I enjoy, but I received a lip product in December, and it was from a brand that I had received again previously as well. Anyway, so today we are going to talk about this product, and I'm going to share my thoughts on it. I'll talk a little bit about the company, not a lot because I've already done that, a little bit about the product, and then specifically my thoughts on it. So Jessica Liebeskind is a fairly new brand, and it is put together by Jessica Liebeskind. She has a bio on her website, and I will put the link to her website down below so you can go and take a look. She has a very strong pedigree of a background in the beauty industry and in cosmetics, so her making her own line of cosmetics completely makes sense. And I like the general idea of it, the idea that it is a highly curated collection of cosmetics that work for every skin tone, that are very classic. So you're not going to find crazy things, you're not going to find huge lines of products. It's very much a curated collection of things that should work for every skin type. It seems like since the last time I looked at her website, she has now started a blog in January that's sort of about the vintage's lifestyle, which I think is quite nice. There's only 3 blog posts up so far, but it's building a brand. There's also a part that I'm a little iffy about. I get it. Apparently when she was in university, she started, or college as they say in the States, she started her first cosmetics brand, and she was, I assume, part of a sorority because she sold it through sororities, and that's how it got out there. So they now continue to have a program of selling through sororities. Being Canadian, we don't have as much of a history of sororities, and whenever I think of them, I think of very sort of snotty, exclusive, mean girls kind of thing, but that's just my impression, probably based on things I've seen in like media and movies and stuff like that. But it is nice that she has some things that set her apart from other brands, and it really has a personal meaning to her to continue to be selling things and working through sororities. The product that we received in our BoxyCharm subscription this month was a highlighter duo, and it is her only highlighter duo. It does say it's limited edition. It's in the shades Rose Quartz and Chocolate Diamond, and this retails for $35. This is actually a good deal over getting her individual highlighters because you get a net weight here of 0.47 ounces between the 2 highlighters. And the individual highlighter, which we received a few months ago, is 0.29 ounces for 1 large product, and it retails for $32. So you're getting quite a bit more product and more variety in the limited edition duo, and this is the only duo of highlighter that she makes. There is talc in this product, if that is a ingredient that you do not enjoy, you should know that it does have it in here. This is distributed through the company in New York, and it is made in China. And I have to say the exact same thing I said the last time I reviewed one of these highlighters. I love this packaging. I think there was a lot of thought that went into making lovely packaging that makes you feel really good when you open it up. I mean, it's this beautiful gold leaf on here in the shape of the rose, and then when you open it up, it's got this cute polka dot packaging inside. And when you take the highlighter out, it has this really nice matte white feeling. It almost feels a little bit like the NARS packaging, but in white. And then it has the label there in gold. And when you open this up, it does have a really nice large mirror. You can see my camera there. So it'd be wonderful to take on the go. It folds all the way back there, and you get these two big highlighters. Now, I have to say that my thoughts on receiving this actually changed from when I first received it to when I actually did my makeup today. You've got the two colors in here, the rose quartz and the chocolate diamond. And when I first opened this up, I thought that the colors were going to be too dark for me. The highlighters that I really tend to like are the ones that are really bright, almost white looking, or, you know, very, very light champagne, very, very light pinkish or whitish, something like that. Very light gold. And I just thought these are going to be too dark for my skin tone, and they don't have a huge amount of like boom shine in your face. So I'm gonna swatch these on my hand as well as the other Jessica Liebeskind highlighter. Again, with the other one, I did like it, but it was really pink. So I don't find that it's necessarily the first one that I was reaching for all the time, because it wasn't giving me that really bright cheekbone highlight. I do find these can also feel a little bit chunky when you're swatching them, if you're trying to do it thickly, because I did try to use it a few times as a eyeshadow, and I would go into it with my finger to really get the most pigment that I could, and it really does sort of crumble and get a little bit bunchy when you try to use it that way. So as far as swatching goes, this one up here is the rose gold. That's the first Jessica Liebeskind one that I received, the single. And you can see how super pink that is. It's very, very pink. So as a highlighter, it almost makes your cheekbones a little on the darker side. It's almost a little bit better as a blush topper than as a highlight. Underneath there, this is the rose quartz, and I actually find it to be quite a bit lighter than the other one. I was thinking because it was another pink tone one that it was really going to be like this, but it does offer more shine. And then underneath is chocolate diamond, and I was thinking that that was going to be just too dark for me. It has some nice shine. I have to say, for these swatches, I built these up. I went in like 3 times to go over it so you could really see the color and tone of them. So I was thinking these are too dark for my skin tone. They're going to be like too pink and too brownish. And when I was looking at her website, they said, you know, this is perfect for all skin tones. And I thought, well, no, it's not. It's just going to be too dark for me. And when I went to get ready to make this video today, I thought, okay, I'm going to do the chocolate diamond all on this side of my face and really build it up, and the rose quartz on this side of my face and really build it up. And I have to say, I really like how my makeup turned out today. I went a little overboard. I have to say, especially on this side, I went a little too far onto my cheek, which highlights pores. But that's not the fault of the highlighter. Almost any highlighter is going to highlight your pores if you're not using a pore filling primer and you have larger pores. What I was surprised about though is that I think I really like this side of my face, and this is the chocolate diamond one, the one I thought was going to be too dark for me. I'll just zoom in a little bit here. I went over this a lot to build it up, but it really gives you sort of a very wet highlight. I also used it a bit on my nose, which I really like. It's kind of subtle. And then I also found, because you have to build it up to get it to show, you can really go over your whole face to just give it a very subtle shine without worrying about it being crazy. So I've actually really changed my mind. I think this gives a beautiful glow that is not at all too dark for my skin tone. This side I do find, it was either my application, it's a bit pinkier, it highlights the texture a little bit more on this side, but it still is quite beautiful and gives that very wet looking highlight. So whereas at first I thought that these were going to be as brightly colored as this was, I do find this duo set to be much more usable, and I actually can see it being good for a lot of different skin tones because, you know, it's almost shine instead of color, and I do think because it is not super white, bright, blinding highlight, that if you have deeper skin tones, it'll probably work for you as well. I surprised myself in this one. I changed my mind because this is not what I thought I was going to sit down and say in front of the camera. So it just goes to show that testing products, you know, don't judge it just by hand swatches. Don't judge it by, you know, what products that look the same in the pan have done for you in the past, because, you know, that's not how it's going to work. And I have to say, the first couple of times I tried this as well, I tried using it with with the crown fan brush that we received in our BoxyCharm box, and it's just not super dense, and it didn't look like anything was showing up on my skin. So I actually went in with a much denser brush and really built it up, and that's what I needed to do to get a nice shine from it. So I'm actually really enjoying the look that I have today. It's very glowy, very shiny, not dramatic eyes or anything, but I think it's a very bright, fresh look, and I'm really enjoying it. So those are my thoughts on this product, is that I still feel that I was not super happy to receive a second highlighter from the same company like within 3 months of receiving the first one. It feels a bit repetitive, and I'm not saying that I am happy with that, because I would much prefer to try out either a different brand or a different product within the same brand. But at the same time, I think it sort of changed my mind a little bit about the highlighters that they produce, because I do think that this one is a nicely curated duo that can work with a lot of skin tones. Also, with that chocolate diamond color, I use that as the very subtle sweep of color on my lids today for a very understated, subtle, but still a bit shimmery, not shimmery, just a sheen to it, and it came out looking quite nice. Those are my thoughts. I'm going to put a link to my other Jessica Liebeskind review at the end of the video, and I'll throw a card up here as well if you want to click on it now. If you enjoyed this review, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps me know that people are watching and enjoying. If you have not subscribed but would like to do so, you can click on my face, which will appear at the end of this video. And just have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.